All right, good morning. I'm going to try to keep this short, but I don't know, something inside me is just saying like whether if I forget or while everything's fresh or just cuz things don't feel right. Um I just want to get this out there of what happened. Um so, all right, the Monday that just passed. Today's Sunday. Um I don't know, I have to look. Monday that just passed. Woke up like any other day. Kind of felt a little weird, like a hungover feeling. But you know, new house has been stressful. Maybe allergies. Like I didn't know. Felt a little weird, but whatever. Have to go to work. I was supposed to be there at 9. I knew I was running late. Um, 6 minutes late. I had to stop for water because I like to drink water in the morning first thing. I drink coffee first. So being as anal as I am, I'm gonna pull over, get water, and I texted the girl. I'm running 6 minutes late. But I'll be there. So 9:06 a.m. Monday. Arrived to the job. Normal. Drove like 30 some minutes to the job. Totally fine. Get out of my car and boom, instantly. Like if you ever like been upside down for a while or you like ran around in circles or you're spinning and like or you go from dark to light. It was like that. Like just kind of blotchy darkness, but it's daylight. So it was really weird and I was like, all right, I hadn't had enough water that morning yet. So I'm going in and out of these little cabins to clean. So it's kind of dark, out into the light, into the dark, out into the light. So I'm like, that's got to make sense of it. So I'm cleaning, and like even now, like I can't even see some stuff. So that's how it was with cleaning. I'm like, what the hell's going on with my eyes? Like I don't really want to say anything. So keep going, keep going, keep going. And I lasted about 3 hours. It's a little after 12. I'm standing outside, taking a little break. I'm noticing that there was my car and like five, I think, cars in front of mine. I'm looking at my car, like looking it dead on, and I couldn't see the cars in front of me. And then if I look over at them, I could see them, but like only one or two at a time. And I'm like, what is going on? And there's like two or so girls, I think three maybe, and they're talking, and I'm looking at them, and I'm looking away, and I look at one, and the two would disappear. So I'm like, all right, something's weird, something's going on. Let me call my eye doctor, which I did on the spot. They said, okay, we can get you in at 3. I said, all right. Let me call my son just because I don't think I should be driving. So I call my son. And where I'm at, I got to drive up like a dirt road to get to 652 to beat my son. He drives a Corvette, like an inch from the ground, if that. So I know I got to at least get up there and park somewhere, so he can take me. So I leave, and immediately when I'm driving, I notice something is very, very wrong. Like, so I'm driving, and I could see, like, whatever I'm looking at. But, like, here's a rear view, and there was a red Jeep behind me. I remember that. I'd look, and it'd be there, and then it wouldn't. I'm like, what the hell? I can't see the right side. Like, looking straight, I can't see the right. So I keep looking over, like, making sure I'm not going off the road. So I make it to 652. And I should be making a left because I was thinking I'll park at there's like Brown's or some kind of convenience store. I'll park there. I'm like, there's no way I can pull out. Like I can't see both ways. Like just very weird. So then I have this Jeep. I can notice like I'm looking up. I can notice okay, there really is a Jeep behind me waiting. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to be like a pain in the butt. So I go right, and I'll eventually turn around. I make it right, and I'm driving, and I go to pull into a driveway. Um, can't even really get in there. So half of me is like in 652, and like there's cars, and I'm like freaking out because they're like you see them, then they're gone, then they're right in your face, and you're like, what is going on? Like I thought I was drugged somehow. Like maybe the water bottle had like LSD. So I back up into 652, go make it to Browns. Don't know how I got in the parking space, but I get there. And I go inside and I explain to the people like, hey, listen, I'm having some kind of problem with my vision. Um, so basically, is it okay if I leave my car here? My son is coming to get me to take me to go to go get looked at. They said, yeah, no problem. And the guy even said, go to the hospital, do what you have to do, just move the car. And I had my key. I said, you can feel free to move it or wait until my son gets here, wherever you want it. I said, I can't see enough. Like, I'm going to kill myself or other people. No problem. Do what you have to do. I hope you're all right. So my son comes, pulls my car into a spot, and we go. And at this point, we have a few hours until my appointment. We arrive to the appointment early, and I just wait. Explain to them what's going on. Um, the eye doctor does some tests to check the retinas and the optic nerve, I believe. And he shows me the pictures of my eyes. Like, look, everything looks fine. He checks my blood pressure twice and 120 over 80. And I tell him, like, I know myself. My blood pressure is normally like a 90 over 50, 60 ish. Like, I know. So 120 over 80 is high for me. So, his worry is that vision problems because of high or low blood pressure or high or low blood sugar, and he mentions diabetes, gives me some Tootsie Rolls. They dilate my eyes, so he can look at them or whatever he's doing. And he says, I recommend that you um, come back in 1 week for a field vision test, something like that, something field test. And 1 minute, babe, and or come to me if you need me, and see my family doctor, my primary care physician. Yeah. Why? Yeah. 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 You can go in the car. So I leave there. Um, I make an appointment, or maybe I had to wait until the morning to make an appointment with with the Highland physicians, my family doctor, primary care physician. So uh, anyway, that's Monday. Go home. So Tuesday, I make an appointment to see a doctor I've never seen, never met. My doctor's out. The person that I prefer to see. So I go there. This man doesn't know me, but in my thought is, you guys are a practice. You should have like in your system all my medical stuff, like everything. So, mind you, at this point, just to throw that in there, there's already active bleeding on my head in my brain. I don't know this. Nobody knows this yet. So I'm not all there, but I'm there enough, like I am right now. So he's asked me all kinds of questions dating back to 2016 from a tumor uh, on a gland in my brain. I forget what it's called. So he's asking me questions dating back to them. And then he's telling me, no, you don't have a tumor. And I'm like, well, and he's like, oh, yeah, here in the notes, like 2016, they found it, 2018, they say it's not there. But you have all these other issues going on that clearly say it's there. So, whatever. So then, he's asking me about medications, MRIs, different things. And I said, no, like certain things I don't take anymore. I'm not sure why, whether the one I know is a tranquilizer, so I stopped taking that, obviously. The other one was estrogen producing, which causes issues with the endometriosis. I don't take that anymore. I don't take the stuff for migraines because I think that was a tranquilizer or whatever the case was, and it was giving me like insomnia and freaking me out. So I take all natural, B2, magnesium, that fixes the problem. No problem there. I don't even know if I break this down, but like certain things I don't do. I haven't had the last MRI because the doctor told me not to, or things go on in life. If my kids are hospitalized, like my two daughters had some major stuff going on, like I might not have an MRI or whatever the case is. So he gets me a little annoyed and tells me, or he asks me, do I even care about my health or something like that? And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm here. I clearly care. Like, you know, so he tells me to contact the endocrinologist, go to the hospital for blood work, and schedule an MRI. So go immediately to the hospital for blood work, get that done. Um, and then I guess, something was a request for an MRI and endocrinology had already been put in. So this is Tuesday afternoon. Come home, and nothing's changing. Um, to backtrack a little bit, Monday night, I felt like my face was swollen. Like, I'm like, oh, why does my face feel swollen? Like, like if you have a shot at a Novocaine, why does my face feel weird? And I'm like pinching it, and like, girls, is my face swollen now? Okay. And I explained this to him. So that's like, you know, weird. And then it happened again Tuesday night. So I'm like, what the hell? Talk to one of my brothers. Brother tells me, don't play around with this. Like, this is your vision. Don't play around with it. Like, please go to the ER, get off the phone with me, call somebody, get a ride, and go. So I do. I get off the phone. I actually call the ER and explain what's going on. I said, listen, I'm supposed to get an MRI. I don't have it scheduled yet. I feel like something's wrong. You know, can I come in and get some kind of scan, something done to see something? They said, I can't. The woman clearly said, I cannot give you medical advice, but if you come in, we can give you a CAT scan or a CT scan, however you pronounce it. Okay. Say no more. I'm on my way. Call my son. My son takes me. It's like 10 something at night um, that we go. He takes me. Go to the ER. Tell the woman at admissions exactly what's going on, and her main thing, she gets right on the phone, female, 36, numbness or whatever in the face, and the headaches and the vision. So she says it very clearly, so I feel like they're taking this seriously. And I go out and wait, and I get it. It's an ER. They have stuff going on. They don't know how serious stuff is, but I'm waiting like 20 minutes, and I'm just like staring, like zoned out because I'm seeing. I don't know how to describe it. And I'm thinking either God is giving me gifts and powers or whatever freaky stuff is going on. I'm like seeing like gray. It's like people moving. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm seeing, but I'm seeing weirdness. So I'm waiting like probably a good 20 minutes, which to me was a shock, but whatever. So I go back into the first room, give the guy all my information, go back into like an actual room in the ER. And I don't think, I guess maybe a nurse came first and just asked me questions. And then the doctor comes back. So this doctor, asked me questions. I explain everything, that there's, to my understanding, a tumor. Maybe not. I'm not a freaking professional, but, and all this numbness and this pressure. It's like sinus pressure to the max. And the vision that's like, and I said, I just feel weird, like something, I feel like I'm in dreamland. I don't feel right. I said I was told on the phone I could get a CAT scan. And he tells me, because I tell him, I was diagnosed with a migraine condition. He tells me I have a migraine and anxiety, that the migraine explains the pain, and the anxiety, or migraine explains the pain, and sometimes with migraines it can mess with your vision, and that the anxiety is why my face is numb. So I'm like pissed at this point. I keep it in. I don't really express stress, like just because I think it's negative. So I keep it in. So I'm pretty sure I texted or called my daughter, and I was like, "This is insane." Like, they're telling me that these are the issues. Like, I don't even know how I'm gonna get home. I don't know how to use my phone to tell anybody and call for a ride or whatever, because I really thought they would keep me overnight for observations. So he's telling me he doesn't want to scan me because of the radiation. So at this point, I tell him, I don't care about the radiation. I want to be scanned. Something is wrong. I know something's wrong. Then he asked me, have I been checked for Lyme disease? I'm like, I don't know. So, okay, well, I'm going to give you some medicine and you rest for 30 minutes and we're going to get some blood work for Lyme disease. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I want to cry at this point, and I've already cried multiple times because this is just not right, and I know something's wrong. So I'm laying there, I don't know how long, and I could go back because I actually took videos while I was in the hospital, and, just to see the timing. So finally, somebody brings me and says, we're going to do a scan. It takes like 3 to 5 minutes. I go, they do the scan. They bring me back to the room. I sit on the bed. And like immediately, two guys come in. They turn on the lights, and like they put down my arm. One shoots. Well, actually, prior to this, oh my gosh. So prior to even getting the scan, because the doctor said I'm going to give you something. He gives me like Ativan and Toradol or something like that. So I'm like, when the nurses come in to give me these shots in the arm, I'm like, number one, why are you giving me a shot and not a pill? All the shots quicker. I said, okay. Number two, what are they for? Oh, this will calm you down and help with the pain. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm not calm. Like I just, you know, I just want to know what's going on. This is I can't see, I can't read. So anyway, so after the scan, I'm laying there. These two same guys come in, and they're like, "Oh, hey, honey, so we're gonna put an IV in," and they like put an IV in instantly. Another dude shoots me in the arm with something I don't even know what it is, and they put like the blood pressure thing on me. They're like, "Oh, it turns out the scan did show something." So like they shot me in the arm with whatever. So I think one was supposed to really relax me because I was just like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, and I'm thinking nothing of it. But the way they came in, I was like, something's going on. And I just didn't think anything of it. Like, they'll tell me if I need to know. So I hear the talk and hear them talking about an ambulance or having to fly me somewhere. So they come in and, doctor comes back in and he's like, oh, yeah. So glad you came in. You owe me a something. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't know what he was saying. It was something weird. I didn't understand why he was telling me that. And I was like, well, really, it was my brother who told me that I should come in. And he's like, oh, you owe your brother a pizza for saving your life. Like, this shit is not a joke. And I was just like, I was mad, but I was too calm to even, like, react, I guess. And I'm like, freaking idiot. Like, in my head, I'm like, so anyway, then I asked the two nurses, because I hear them talk about being flown, like, oh, you're going to go in a helicopter. So I'm like, why don't you guys, like, why doesn't somebody just take me over to that other hospital? Why do I have to go in a helicopter? Like, I just want to know. Like, they're not really telling me anything. Um, oh, they like to use the helicopter at least once a week. Like, I think, like, maybe they were just trying to, like, not make me worried, which cool. But at some point, somebody mentioned there was a bleed on my brain, and they mentioned aneurysm, and they mentioned stroke. And I'm like, what? Like, where is this coming from? So, um, that's the gist of it. I think I've probably skipped through some stuff, but I'm very upset in a way. I mean, I am because, I told multiple doctors, like, the numbness, the vision, I don't feel right. Like, and in my mind, I would just think that you send somebody immediately. Like, you pick up a phone, hey, I'm a so and so doctor, I'm an eye doctor, I'm a family doctor, I'm whatever doctor. Like, this girl's having numbness, like, she has major vision. If you do this to me, how many fingers? Can you see my fingers? Yeah, I can see it, but like, I'm telling you, there's something very wrong. So I'm just annoyed that I go in Monday and it's technically Wednesday early morning before you guys realize there's something wrong. Like, who knows, could things have been turned around by then? If I would have just went to the ER first and demanded tests, like, probably not. I think with the bleeding and the vision, I'd already did its damage. Um, but I can't help to be very annoyed with how it was handled. When the woman came, I think she was a lady who flew me, because there were a few people for the helicopter. I heard the doctors telling her, "Oh, thank God, I'm so glad I decided to scan her." And I'm thinking, but you didn't. Like, I demanded that you did this. So I'm annoyed. I am annoyed with myself too that I didn't go with my gut from the very beginning. Like, I called my mom Monday when I was pulled over at Brown's, and I was crying a little bit because I was like, Mom, like, I can't really see, like, something's wrong. Like, I was scared immediately. I don't get scared. Oh, and to throw something else in, so I'm sitting in ICU, and now I can finally remember I was at Geisinger, Wyoming Valley. I'm laying in the bed in ICU, and at this point, realize aneurysm slash stroke or whatever had happened. And I get a phone call, and I could see enough the button to answer it. And it was the police. So your car was. We got a phone call that you abandoned your car, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, your car is here, whatever convenience, and you abandoned your car. I said, no, sir, I'm right now in ICU, in the hospital. I went there, so I avoided killing myself or others. And I went in and told the people what was going on. And they, said, leave your car here and, go to the hospital, do what you have to do. And they said, okay, I'm very sorry, but, the car needs to be removed today, or it will be towed at your expense. So, I don't know. I'm not trying to sound like a downer, but it's just, I'm like, where's humanity or the common sense, especially these doctors? I don't know. Maybe I'm in the wrong. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe this is my brain still messing with me. But I don't know. I think things should have been handled differently. But on another note, Geisinger, Wyoming Valley, I can remember a few doctors. Dr. Weiner, who I believe did the whatever to my brain. And there was Dr. Baker, who was awesome, and Mike, the nurse. And there was a female nurse. There was somebody named Josh. And there were a bunch of other doctors and nurses, but I don't remember them all. They were amazing. Like, they didn't leave me alone. There was always somebody there, even to the point for a while, like every 15 minutes, like I had to move things, and they were asking me questions. They were amazing. I wish I went there from the start. So basically, if you feel something is weird and something is going on, you go to the proper facility and you ask questions and you demand things happen. You know, Again, I'm annoyed or mad with myself because it's like I knew. I could have been ahead of this, mm, about 2 days or a day and change. But don't second guess. I'm very lucky, um, very very lucky with the whole team and my family and friends that have been awesome. But don't second guess stuff, and see the right doctors, ask the right questions, demand the proper things be done. And it could have been a migraine, or it could have been a sinus thing, or it could have been I hit my head in the laundry room and that's it, or concussion. But like, what are you risking? Like, what are you losing by demanding stuff? And nothing really wrong is going on. Nothing. Your pride a little bit, but this could have been completely different. So now, for God forbid this ever happens again, I'll be on the ball way more.